Hi, I'm Lisa Lacroix, and welcome back to the Intimate Connection series, or welcome if you're here for the first time. I am a communication muse. What that means is that I share information in all of the ways through words and embodiment so that you can be more effective in life, in love, and in your business and career. On this channel, you'll find two main threads. One is all about speaking skills, presence, leadership. And if that's what brought you here, then you can click this link and it'll send you back to that part of the channel. The other thread is this one. It's a series of real talk about intimacy and sexuality and sensuality, love, relationship, and all the ways we connect more fully with ourselves and with each other. This particular episode is about midlife, especially about midlife for women and how it can be a time of awakening instead of the decline story and message that we're sold by our culture. We're going to talk about how sensuality shifts as we age and how embodiment can deepen, how personal power can become stronger and more real than ever in midlife. Midlife can be a time of deepening sensuality, more powerful embodiment, and true personal power, not in spite of age, but because of it. The narrative on decline is outdated. It is rooted in some old ideas about youth and productivity and appearance being the only or the most important things about a woman. But as so many of the women in our culture now in their 50s and 60s and 70s and even beyond are modeling for us, midlife can be something altogether different. We can write this new story together, knowing that midlife can be the most powerful awakening and a portal to who we are in this next chapter. This might come as a surprise, but in midlife, especially for women, sensuality can actually deepen. We've gotten to a place in our lives where we have no fucks left to give. We are no longer interested in, we're not willing to be performative, and we have the confidence to be more present with ourselves, with our bodies, and with what is true. The approval seeking we might have felt in our 20s and 30s is long gone. And now we are ready to explore, what do I want? What feels good to me? So pleasure becomes more authentic. It becomes more embodied and deeper and more connected to sensation and to our emotions. And how we feel becomes more important than how we look to someone else. And so as a result, sex becomes about connection to ourselves first, to our partner, to the field of love, to play and growth, and to exploration. We have the confidence to drop into intimacy more fully. We have better communication skills. We are clearer about our boundaries. And we have likely developed deeper emotional intelligence through our life experience than we had in earlier decades. Often our younger years are marked by performing for approval and the need for acceptance. But for many of us in midlife, that script flips. We are less interested in conforming. We are more curious about our own unique personalities. We're freer to explore, and we want to be more fully expressed. We're often more willing to listen to and follow the clues our bodies send to us, whether it's telling us we have the need for rest or for movement, for wildness, for exploration. Often we're more attuned to the messages that we're being given from within. Let's talk for a minute about hormones, because hormonal shifts in midlife can be difficult. Let's be real, but they can also bring, as they change, a surprising kind of relief. Because for most of our lives, for many women, we've been like passengers on a hormonal roller coaster with emotions and energy and desires that might have been more shaped by our biological cycle than by what was actually happening in our lives, by the circumstances that we were facing and processing. So as those cycles slow or even stop at a certain point, there's often a new sense of stability that we might not even have been expecting, where feelings become less random and more connected to real experiences, to the details and the circumstances of our life, instead of simple chemical fluctuations that are born from our biological changes. And I'm so happy that many young women are becoming more attuned to and aware of the biological fluctuations and accepting them as a piece of wisdom. But when we're free from that whole ride altogether, there's a kind of emotional clarity that we get that provides more choice, more steadiness, more ability to be rationally responsive to our emotions. And it's not about becoming emotionless. It's about an experience of having access to our emotions without being hijacked by them. And in my experience, this is one of the unexpected and maybe even quieter gifts of midlife. To no longer be riding that wave, we get to steer the ship of our lives in a way that is new and different. And so as a result, we're able to show up more fully in our sensuality in a new kind of way, not for validation or any kind of hormone driven urgency, but because we want to. And this kind of presence changes everything, how we experience ourselves in bed, in love, in relationship, and how we relate to our own body and the circumstances of our lives. By midlife, you have probably faced heartbreak. You have dealt with failure. You know change, and you know that you can survive it all. And that builds an inner authority, a trust in who we are, a knowing of what we value, and also a knowing of what's not worth our energy anymore. We have practiced and become more attuned to using our voice fully. We're more compelled to use it, to impact others, to support, to give, to grow. We have earned our intuition. So we trust ourselves more. And as a result of all of that, we are less inclined to play small, more drawn to serving purpose, to being in integrity, and to having an impact on those we love and the people coming up behind us. We can be so much more generous when we have the trust in ourselves that comes from living a life and all that brings to us. And so this isn't a decline. This is another example of the ways we are here harvesting the years and the wisdom of our lives. And so, as we reach this point in our lives, the better question might be, instead of asking, how can I stay young? More powerfully, we can wonder, how can I grow deeper? How can I be more self-connected, more free, wilder, and more a full expression of myself and all I'm meant to be and to contribute? Because midlife isn't the end of something, as we are often told. It is a threshold. It is a portal and a passage into the real power of who we were meant to be and what we were meant to contribute. And so often that power comes through a connection to our sensual aliveness, to our embodiment that we experience in a new way, and through the audacity to live by our own design. So if you're here and you want more on the Intimate Connection series, you can find that link here. If you want to watch another video, this is one that YouTube thinks that you will like. So thank you for being here. Please leave a comment. Let me know how this lands with you and what about this is relevant, what other thoughts you have, what you think I might have missed, because I'm in it for the conversation with you. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next one.